Back at the Bus podcast coming to you with another comic book review. Today we've got the finale, a little bit late, but we get into it. The 5-part mini from Miss Monica Rambeau. I will be honest, this is probably going to be the most critical that I've been of Miss Eve Ewing, because with this send-off, I feel like with the amount of bail I was giving her in the first few issues, trying to give her space to tell her story the way she wanted it to, clearly seeing that this was a more of an introspective book as opposed to a shoot 'em up. And so I ate it for 4 issues. So I'm expecting a huge climax in the final issue to tie this whole thing up, to make it all worth it. We didn't get that, not in the slightest bit. This book went off with a whisper and a prayer. It was a mouse fart in the wind, for sure. Not that it was bad, not the dialogue was bad or anything like that, or didn't make sense. It was just kind of there. Like, almost to the point where I'm wondering if editorial got in the way or changed something, or maybe she took a swing that they didn't like. I have no clue. But if this is where we wanted to end up by the end of this book, we could have got here by issue 3 and went on a new adventure.
Reading Eve Ewing, her run, hearing about what she did with Ironheart and everything like that, you and I discussed the issue. She pays homage to what came before her, and I can't thank her enough. Had the opportunity to speak to another fellow YouTuber in regards to Eve Ewing, and he put something on my dome, put something on my spirit and everything like that. Basically, what he alluded to was Black writers not necessarily being given the luxury that their Caucasian counterparts are, coming in onto a project and being told what to write, as opposed to, being given a free will, like some of the other authors that you and I write, Al Ewing and everything like that. And I got to thinking about it, because, she's a sister, definitely want to be fair, honest and everything. I started thinking about some of the writers that I've read in the past, Black writers specifically, and comments about those Black writers, storylines from those Black writers. And I said, well, wait a minute. We weren't necessarily fans of Christopher Priest's run initially, but when he got into the second arc, Reginald Hudlin, we weren't necessarily fans of his first story arc, but by the time he got to the second one, good God Almighty Jesus, I don't know how many complaints I heard about Ta-Nehisi Coates' initial run.
By the end, God damn it, we got somewhere.
So what the brother said to me, and shout out to Patrick from Black Comic Lords and everything like that, what he said to me was, had this been a 12-issue run, we probably would have got what we wanted. Because there's certain things, nuances that I picked up on the story. This is a reintroduction to Monica Rambeau for me. I don't need it.
Yeah.
I don't need it. I don't need this. You don't need this. We know who she is. So we were looking for something else. So why might Marvel want this comic book to come out? Okay.
With the movie coming out this summer.
The movie was supposed to come out in June.
Yeah, right. So this comic book was supposed to be lining up. Here's my problem, right? If that's the case, if that's the business model, the movie has shifted to July. Can we get some more issues? Can we write this thing all the way into July? Can we shift the schedule back so that this book actually comes out along with the movie? Now more than ever, that shouldn't be a thing now that they dissolved Marvel Entertainment. Now that comics are underneath Disney, those things should run like this. If that's what you're going to do. But this offset thing of like, we're going to reintroduce a character in a streaming show or a movie or something like that, and then the comic book will come. We're going to do WandaVision, and then 2 years later, we're going to have a Scarlet Witch solo book. Like, what's going on there?
This is where it's prevalent for social media influencers like ourselves, YouTubers like ourselves that like comic books, definitely interested in Black characters and everything like this. This is when we have to make it, we have to say more. We have to be out in front more and things like that and make it be known, because the questions that you're asking are very, very valid. Like, why are you introducing this? If you knew you were going to push the movie back, why didn't you extend her run? If you were initially set to her run was going to end and then the movie was going to come out, if the movie is not coming out to the end of the year, extend her run. Now, if she, don't tell me she can't write 2 books.
That's exactly what I was about to say. She would love to have Black Panther and Monica Rambeau at the same time.
Like, let her tell me she can't write 2 books. Like, I'm working on Black Panther and I'm doing something else. But don't tell me she can't write 2 books because you let other writers write 2 books. So let her.
The prior Black Panther author before John Ridley was doing Captain America and Black Panther.
Right. Like I said, giving her the benefit of the doubt. I don't believe in my heart of hearts, because I've heard she did good things with Ironheart. Not an Ironheart fan. But I don't believe somebody in my heart of hearts who is this much of a comic book historian doesn't know how to pay it forward. I do believe, especially when I look at other media formats that we have supposedly been over and how it's been presented once it got out to the public, I can now sit back and be like, okay, they gave you. I can, if I look at what's happened in the past and how this played out, that makes sense. That makes sense to me. So before being told that, I was very much of the mindset like you, like very much disappointed. You know, like, hey, I was looking forward to some shoot 'em up put some hands on somebody in issue 5. I can't lie, I was right there with you and everything. But they're changing this character to fit the MCU. The power set, you and I get into it later on, much like they did with Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel. They're changing her power set to match what's going on in the MCU. To those of us that's rocking with me and Marcus tonight, y'all need to know her powers are light-based. They've never been reality altering. This is something they're doing to get this character to fit, to mimic what's going on in the MCU. So, but yeah, that's just my 10 cents on it.
No, I agree. I could tell. It felt like interference. It felt like we middled around in the fields for just a little too long for anybody who's trying to tell an exciting story. Even from the little bit that I know of her prior to her writing Monica Rambeau, I don't think that's a common thing for her. Now, if we get through the first arc of Black Panther here next month in June, and we just kind of like, all right, well, you know, because unfortunately that's what it does. It speeds up her clock for the more anticipated title that she's working on, which is Black Panther coming up here in June.
And that's the thing. She doesn't have a set issue run. So it's not like they're saying, well, if you give us 12 good issues, we'll extend you. No, they're not extending. So it's frustrating to me because it's like, I want to see these characters do well. And when we talk about Photon, this 5-issue run did not crack the top 100.
No.
So, you know, the light
never had a chance. It was too slow. And with the mini, most people know already, most collectors know, this ain't going nowhere. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to be followed up on. The movies are not going to pick it up. And if you've been reading it, it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. It didn't have a chance. And again, I'm not putting all of that on Eve. Based on what you just told me, it sounds like the chances that this was heavily influenced by other people than the writer is very high. You know, so I just kind of disappointed, but I understand though. I get it. I understand. I've worked in corporate America for, you know, better part of a decade. So I certainly understand how a lot of that stuff plays. So getting into the meat of the book here, it's a lot of the same. Monica, the Beyonder, we left off last issue with Star Fox, and they're trying to figure out Monica's feels, essentially. They come to the conclusion that she's got to search deep and ask herself what she really wants to stop breaking the universe, right? So she has a souped up therapy session. Gets into this pod, starts thinking, goes into her inner mind, and the reality rift that she has created while she's going through all this has caught up with them. It's right outside of Star Fox's ship. She's going through the Rolodex of events in her life, her time in the Avengers, when she was leading the Avengers, fighting the Shi'ar with Thor, just, you know, the greatest hits of Monica Rambeau once again.
5 pages. Oh, we get to see her father, Frank Rambeau.
Yep. Frank is there, Rocket Raccoon, Spider-Man, Durig, Captain America. It's greatest hits, right? We do get to one of the final pages, and we get the only Adam Brashear sighting in the entire book. So he's still in her mind. For people that were inquiring on whether or not the flame had fizzled, he's right in the same, picture with her parents and Caleb and Spider-Man and Cap, other people that he respects.
Eve, pay that off. Pay that off later on. Eve, you get a chance. And Monica Rambeau.
I don't know what kind of ties we can create for Monica Rambeau for Wakanda, but we can definitely work that out.
Look at Eve, Queen. Check this out. Take your glasses off here quick. Me and Marcus already got some stuff going on with the next comic book that we getting ready to review and everything like that. Clearly, we ain't gonna get the superpowered romance we would want and everything like that. Can we get you to get Monica Rambeau and Adam Brashear together so we can get that Franklin Richards thing going on?
So
that's what we're talking about right there. We need Monica.
Honestly, if we can talk about it, since she's going to be writing this book's going to be writing the new Black Panther run. We can talk about what we want to see out of her new project when we wrap up with this. Sound good? I feel like that's a great segue into next month for sure. To really know with utter certainty that I am fine. I am okay. I don't have to prove a thing. I'm a woman of near limitless power. I can't do everything. I can't control everything. And that's okay. I've done enough. I am enough. All by my damn self. Kaboom. And the riff explodes. Listen, guys. Listen. There is so much more we could have been doing than this. Like, first of all, telegraph to me harder what's getting ready to happen in this movie in July. Like, telegraph to me harder. Please. Just go ahead and ruin the Marvels for me, because it seems like the only interesting thing that's going to come out of that movie is Monica's going to explode in some kind of way because of her feelings towards Carol, and it's going to create an incursion, and either her and Carol are going to be gone. That's what it feels like. So it feels like, based off of what we getting force-fed out of the latter parts of this story, and what we know of the movie so far, just telegraph to me harder what's getting ready to happen. And on top of that, we've been having this same talk about who I am and who I need to prove it to, and am I enough, for 5 issues. It's almost making Monica seem like she's kind of incompetent, like with dealing with her emotions. Like she is emotionally impotent.
To you and to me, because we know her. Remember what we said? This is basically an introduction story to those that don't know her. Me, I'm concerned. I'm concerned because what do we see? Where's Monica going after this? Like, what book is she showing up in after this where people are going to become invested? As I've alluded to before, the fact that I touch these characters in more than one medium format, I'm concerned. The movie, who's the big bad? I'm being facetious. I know who the big bad is.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. How do people feel about Brie Larson already? And when I say people, this is what I told people. It's like, to make me mad is one thing, but to make my lighter skinned brother mad, he take it to a whole nother level when he get mad. When you said you was gonna do something about Clark Kent, making him look like me, that dude lost his ish. When you did something with He-Man, that dude lost his ish. You don't think this dude is upset about the fact that you made Marvel a female in the first movie? Bad enough that you weren't even making Marvel. It's a lot of cats like that dude, upset that he died from cancer. You don't think people was upset that you made her the first? People that would have had an axe to grind anyway. That toy line didn't perform well. It didn't. It was peg warmers. So what do you? And Marvel, Hasbro has a contract with Marvel. They got to release a wave every time they drop a movie. If males got an issue with this movie, not saying all males, not saying most males, but those who clearly got an agenda, they don't show up. If the story sucks, there goes your rewatch appeal. The action figure line ain't moving. What female merchandise you finna sell where somebody finna buy some Captain Marvel? Sisters don't really get into black female superheroes like that as much as they talk. So who finna support Monica Rambeau? The action figure, the toy line, anything like that. Clothes, shoes, I'm concerned.
Yeah, that type of cross-pollination or that type of exponential growth in marketing, especially when you're talking superheroes, is usually from franchises that are generally validated. And when you say generally validated, that's from the majority of superhero audiences. And when you talk about that, unfortunately, it has to trickle down from the male perspective, because the male consumer in most households is the entryway into the superhero genre, whether that be from teenage or youth age male or middle-aged male who's still living off nostalgia from his youth age years when he broke into this genre. That's usually the entry point. And then that father brings his daughter, brings his wife, brings his girlfriend, brings his sister. The sister goes along for the family movie outing to see the Marvel movie because that's what the older brother wants to see, or that's what the younger brother wants to see. It doesn't have to be that everything has to be male-centric, but you can't fade so far that you disaffect that entry point, because now you shot everything. You shot your merchandising, you shot your rewatch. When you're pitching, oh, guys dumb, girls good, and you made it that simple, you've disaffected the core entry to your market. That's how I see it. But that doesn't have to apply for the Marvels, because there was nothing necessarily other than Marvel. But for this movie specifically, you don't even have to do that. It's an all-female cast, or mostly female cast. So there's absolutely no reason for you to turn the hyper poignant jokes or the super dumbed down. You don't even have to do that. You make a great movie with the majority female cast, that gives you exactly what you want. Gives you exactly what you want. Just make a good movie.
Wonder Woman, to your point, and that's one of the things that I wanted to point out, is that
Wonder Woman 1 was perfect, and then Patty Jenkins lost her damn mind, made Wonder Woman 2 and destroyed it.
Exactly, but we gonna stay right down Wonder Woman, the first one, because you're right. I still to this day don't know why Maxwell Lord was in the second movie. But the first movie, heavily female driven. The males were the weaker characters. What guy had a problem with it? That was a great movie. Love Wonder Woman, great movie. So, like you said, when that story gets where you go, people that know the source material, and if you disrespect the source material, you're going to turn those people off, regardless of who they are. And so I'm just concerned, as you said, this book did nothing for me and you, because we already know the character. Now, if it did something for somebody else, the payoff for the excitement that you generated with this character is not going to be felt till when? November? What are you doing after the movie to bring her back into the public eye?
Yeah. Good point.
I'm rooting for the character. I'm rooting for the author and everything like that. I want to say I'm rooting for the movie, but having done my due diligence and everything like that.
Yeah, the book goes off here with basically turning the entire miniseries into a red herring, which is the last thing I wanted for this book, man. None of it happened, or it got erased because she was able to control her new reality warping powers. She gives Caleb a call, asks him to make some red beans and rice. The end of the series. With this book going out the way it did, kind of with a whisper, I hope that Eve leans in full tilt into her first arc. It makes a splash. Whatever she's planning for that second arc right now to like give us that moment, drop it in issue 3. They done already shown you that they're not going to give you the ramp and the runway that they give other writers, and they in your business. So put whatever it is that you absolutely want to do in the first 3 issues. Get it out the way, make it a shock, get people talking about it on Twitter, so that we can start encouraging people to get it on their pull list, and they will, let you complete a couple arcs. Because the last thing I want to see is new Black Panther writer coming in December or coming January 2024. I don't want to see that. I want her to succeed so bad and have an extended run Like I want that for her, and I want that for T'Challa, for Black Panther, and he needs it.
I think people are missing the boat because I've heard some people like, man, she's gonna suck, man. I'm like, don't speak that into existence.
That. Why would, like, even if you don't like her, if you like the character, you shouldn't want that at all. Like another reboot of this character. Like we're still working on getting T'Challa over 1,000 issues, y'all. We just got to 300 when Ridley started. It's 300th issue. We ain't even got 500 issues of Black Panther. We need this book to continue. So on top of me being an Eve Ewing fan, I want the character to succeed. You should not be encouraging it to fail.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you how much I want Eve to succeed. I want that T'Challa to get his own action figure. To me, when you're successful as a writer, at some point in time, they drop an action figure from your from the issues you didn't wrote. Mm-hmm. All right, we got the Jack Kirby action figure. We got the Ta-Nehisi Coates action figure. They did 2 versions of them daggum thing. Who else we got? We got the Christopher Priest action figure. Who else we got? Reginald Hutner action. Listen, I'm rooting for you. I want you to knock it out the park. I ain't even gonna give no ideas or say who I want to see and everything like that.
Oh no, I got one more that it has to happen. She has to give T'Challa an heir. Look, I know it's sketchy with getting him a permanent partner, right? For some reason, well, we know the reason, but they seem committed to not allowing him or any other prominent Black male character to have a permanent mate that they can reproduce their line with, the same way they allow Spider-Man, the same way they allow Superman, Batman, Mr. Fantastic, of course, Professor X. Who else got kids?
Scott Summers.
Scott Summers got a whole man. Scott Summers' family reach all the way to the future. Wolverine. Who else got kids? Emma Frost even got kids. She has to be the worst mother candidate as it is. And she got 3 kids, 3 superpowered triplets.
This what killed me right here is lame excuses. We never hear someone say, well, they forced Reed on Sue. Reed and Sue ain't have to be together. Like that ain't have to be a relationship. She's a successful scientist. He's a successful scientist. They seem to make it work. She didn't been aggressive. She didn't tap into her sexual freedom, expression, and everything like that. She's not that person. I'm tired of the excuses when it comes to, okay, characters that look like us. I'm just gonna go ahead and keep it 1,000. I'm tired of that. Like, there's no reason, we're gonna talk about it when we get into the other comic and everything like that. But no, if T'Challa has an heir, I want the mother of the child to be superhuman. Yes, I do. Because what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And I want the mother to be a superhuman sister. We already got Luke Cage with Jessica Jones and everything like that. So let that be what that is. We got biracial children. We got Miles Morales. That's a biracial child. We don't act like it, but that's what that is. No. I want what Reed and Sue got. And I want that child to age like Franklin did aged. Which
we should note, which is a child whose power is unmeasured and unmatched by any other being in the universe. So yes, we want that. And unfortunately, that points us back into well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, but it points us back in the direction of Aurora Monroe. I am just not interested at all in watching them break up again. For some other frivolous reason, I'm not interested. I don't want it. I don't want any parts of it. It stinks. I'm good. So, like, if you're telling me he has to find a new mate to have an heir, fine. I'm done. I'm good with it. But make sure the next Black Panther, not Tosin, not Shuri again, not M'Baku, the next in the line to take the heart-shaped herb from T'Challa's line is established in this run. Just go ahead and do it. Make history. Do it.
It kills me when people say, well, T'Challa and Aurora seem like it's forced. well, you know what? These characters aren't real.
You know why
so
it seems like it's forced? Because they break up every year.
You are forced together as a writer. You forced Reed and Sue together. These characters they're not real. So if you put them in a relationship,
you want them to go. They're all literally forced.
Yeah, come on, somebody. But it's just that mindset that we make up excuses and everything like that. So Eve, if you're listening, T'Challa, we're trying to get that going on and everything like that. However you do it, there's supposed to be maybe some stuff going on with issue 2. You bring in this young lady and everything like that. Listen, she can be the Selena Kyle to his T'Challa. Just let me get that. Let me get that right there. Yeah, can we get it before I go? Marcus, you in your 30s?
I just turned 30 this year.
Yeah. So can we get that, Eve? Can we get that before I get to 60? 5 years. I got 5 years. Can we get that for? I've been looking for this since I was Marcus' age, 30 years later. You know what I'm saying? I think Mr. Smith is actually 5 years older than me. It's grandmother. Quite a few of us been waiting for a long, long time. If you go ahead and give it, you can even fast forward a couple of years. Won't care.
I really don't. I don't care. Just give me something good.
You can say that the child coming back from the future to be with his father, and just like with Jean, we ain't never seen Jean have no child. You can say that's the child. You can say that's Aurora's son or Aurora's daughter. Aurora, like, hey, you're gonna have this child in the future. Yeah, whatever. We here for it.
I'm here. All right, so we'll be back to review Black Panther when Miss Eve Ewing gets running in June. Make sure you come back and check us out then. Let us know what you thought about this book in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Come back next week for some more review content. Theo, appreciate you rocking out with me, bro.
Always, brother, always.